Mass unmarked graves have been discovered on US soil, thousands of children buried in silence, and the trail leads directly to Barack Obama. Investigators now believe these bodies are tied to the Adrenochrome trade, a network that thrived during his time in power. Declassified government documents lay it out in black and white. Federal contracts, invoices, sales receipts, name dates and dollar amounts, all pointing to the same conclusion. A system built on the harvesting of children and the trafficking of unborn lives. And if that wasn't horrifying enough, there's hidden footage, private conversations, powerful people caught laughing, bragging about the mansions, the cars, the fortunes they've made in blood. For years, they told you this was just a conspiracy theory. But what you're about to hear isn't theory, it's evidence. Stay with us, because once you understand what these records prove, you'll see the truth. Obama wasn't just connected to this network, he was the head of the snake, and he made a fortune. Before we dive in, a quick word about our partner VP.net, the next generation of private browsing. VP.net is the only VPN designed with true zero-logging architecture. That means, unlike other VPNs, it literally can't track you. So even if governments or bad actors come knocking, there's nothing to hand over. It's that simple. Your data stays yours, period. They're becoming shameless in their attempts to normalize the unthinkable. Take Khloe Kardashian. She recently traveled to Mexico for a so-called MuCell infusion, a black market blood plasma procedure that uses the bodily fluids of extremely young children. It's outlawed here in the United States, but quietly thriving internationally. Now, stop and think for a moment. Where did this blood come from? Who's supplying it? And more importantly, how can a child under 2 possibly give consent? This isn't wellness, it's not medicine. It's the same adrenochrome pipeline we've been warning you about, dressed up in luxury branding, promoted by rich and famous members of the occult elite, while the victims remain voiceless, buried and forgotten. The fact is, blood isn't a charity. It's a $48 billion industry that turns pain into profit and leaves a trail of child corpses in its wake, as Dr. Lee Merritt explains.
You think you're donating your blood, you're doing a good thing, and they're charitably giving it to the hospitals or something. No. They're selling it at huge profits all over the world. And then when you have children, then you can get adrenochrome. So, when you wonder, again, where are 8 million children going every year? Why do we have 63 million abortions every year in this country? They want to paint it. It's just a woman's right. Okay. But it's much deeper than that. They're protesting to have satanic ritual abortion in hospitals. That's what they want to do now. They're taking that to court. But beyond that, it's because those aborted babies are being parted out. I'm sorry to say this. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear it, people, but they're being parted out because they're worth a fortune on the black market. And that black market goes to the NIH and other places. Don't think it doesn't. Years ago, they came out with there was a paper that was published in Medicine, and you're hearing about it now. Now they're actually overtly talking about it because I think they thought they had this all bottled up. And it was that infusing children's blood helps you be healthier if you're an older person and helps you live longer. Now, I read that article and I thought, who the hell could do that? And how do you get informed consent of children to take their blood and do a study on these people? These people are like 30-year double-blind studies or double-blind studies and conformed consent. How do you get a 5-year-old to give you informed consent? This has been going on, this sacrifice of children for their own longevity and for their religious beliefs has been going on for millennia.
Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to expose and ultimately destroy the 9,000-year-old paedophile cult that has preyed on children since the days of Babylon. A cult that has sacrificed the innocent, consumed their blood, and cloaked it all in sick rituals and twisted occult beliefs. History may have changed, but their practices have not. Today's elite have simply modernized the system, recruiting an army of soulless profiteers to run a multi-billion-dollar industry built on the slaughter of children, the harvesting of body parts, and the trafficking of unborn lives.
This guy is brave for going undercover and getting these ladies to actually say this.
We're looking for livers and cardiac and those,
I can get you without any difficulty at all.
So this footage is being filmed by an undercover journalist. He goes to the National Abortion Federation's commercial trade show. This is being hosted at one of the biggest Planned Parenthoods in Texas. And this journalist is here to talk business.
Not every time I do a meet and Jeannie, I'm like, oh, there's some love.
Yeah, you already know.
And this lady is Dr. Ann. She's the chief medical officer of this Planned Parenthood. And Dr. Ann is in the business of selling baby parts.
You have to come and play with our tissue and see if it's cool enough for you.
I like tissues.
We have a lot of it.
And they're all like, yeah, that's pretty profitable too. We get 5 to 6 samples a week.
Most weeks, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, anywhere between 5 and 10 samples a week.
So I have 2 providers who go up to 24 weeks, and Ann is one of the providers.
This lady is named Tram, and she's the vice president of abortion access at Planned Parenthood. And Tram's about to tell us how she loves freezing conjoined twin babies as prize specimens to look at.
We had 17-week twins in the freezer because we're waiting for funeral home to pick them up. They were like the most intact. And I was like, but it's really cool though. There's like 3 legs and like 2 spinal cords.
Yes, she knows what she's doing is psycho.
I'm like, yeah, I have like a leg for you. I'm like, oh shit. If other people were to hear me, they'd be like, you're a f***ing evil.
Now, you might think that this is illegal and the stuff varies in all states. Well, it is, but they have their ways of getting around that.
If I'm doing a procedure and I'm in fear that it's about to come to the umbilicus, I might ask for a second set of forceps, hold the body at the cervix and pull off the leg.
Oh, so you gotta, okay.
So it's not.
Right.
What she's talking about is a partial birth abortion, where the baby is being birthed, legs out, and as the head and neck are still in the womb, they snip the back of the neck and suck the brains out.
When you have patients who like cooperate, some of them are just like, and there's good dilation, it's just like one pass and
And you get the whole
matter
thing.
is that
These aborted children are being kept alive, hooked up to machines, treated not as human beings, but as raw material. Their blood extracted, their organs catalogued, their very existence reduced to a product line for the powerful. This isn't some dystopian horror story, this is happening now in plain sight, under the cover of medical research and biotech innovation. And the same names keep surfacing. Politicians, celebrities, corporate giants, and yes, former presidents. The cult has simply gone corporate. What began as an ancient ritual sacrifice has become a streamlined business model. And the profits? Beyond imagination.
After this convention, the undercover journalist writes a contract offer to Tram. We'll give you $750 for the baby's liver and $1,600 for the liver and thymus paired. Tram's all on board, and she forwards it to her higher-ups. Now, this was led by an organization called the Center for Medical Progress, which was founded by a journalist named David Daleiden. After these videos were released, David's house was raided by the state, and they took the video footage of the crime that Planned Parenthood has been involved in.
But here is where it gets even darker. These aren't just mutilated corpses thrown away in secret. No, these aborted children are being kept alive. Why? Because for the blood to carry the effect their twisted rituals demand, it must be adrenalized. And that can only happen if the child is brought into this world alive, if the suffering is real. So the question is, who could possibly orchestrate such a monstrous network? The answer is hiding in plain sight. Declassified government documents now tie Barack Obama directly to this trade. And what those papers reveal will shock the world to its core. We'll break it all down after this brief message from our sponsor. And then we'll show you the documents, the footage, the evidence they never wanted anybody to see. These ghouls are driving Lamborghinis and living in mansions, but their wealth is built on blood. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this bombshell interview with Mel Gibson, who says 3 of his friends who had terminal cancer were cured by the very same ivermectin and fenbendazole available at pillsforever.com.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin?
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole, yeah.
That's
yeah, I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. What you're about to hear is stone cold proof. Not rumours, not speculation. Official government documents. Released only after federal court orders, reluctantly confirming the unthinkable. This isn't medicine. This is about money, power, and control, a supply chain of the unborn fueling a multi-billion-dollar adrenochrome industry, and yes, operating with federal approval. And all of it leads back to Barack Obama. Evidence this damning doesn't deserve a press release. It demands prosecution, indictments, public trials. But here's the part that should chill every one of us. Experts now admit this industry has perfected techniques to harvest organs while aborted infants are still alive. Which raises the most disturbing question of all. If this is what we know, what horrors remain hidden?
So where do the bodies come from? Do we know?
I mean, when the baby is aborted for the purposes, and they're typically aborted for the scientific purpose, right? I mean, they have to know beforehand for the most part, because if they abort the baby and they don't immediately act to make sure that the tissues don't die, then you can't use them in these experiments. So, and this is
I'm about as uncomfortable as I've ever been in an interview right now. This is like really beyond that this happens.
For millennia, the ruling class has been obsessed with sacrificing children in occult rituals. Today, the global elite continue the same evil, only now it's dressed up as science and medicine. Adrenochrome has become their sacrament, fueling satanic rituals, indulgence, and a grotesque pursuit of youth. And their demands are as chilling as they are precise. When it comes to the skulls and organs of children, even the unborn, there is one rule. They must be fresh, never frozen. The price only climbs when the body remains intact.
As the president of Judicial Watch, can you comment on reports of records that you have received from the Obama administration, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, of communications and contracts with a human fetal tissue provider that seems to show the FDA was buying, quote, intact calvarium baby skulls, 18 to 24 weeks, for $515 per skull? What do you make of this apparent sale of fetal body parts to the FDA?
Well, it ought to cause both moral and legal outrage on the part of United States citizens and taxpayers, that their tax dollars are being used to purchase basically the dead bodies of unborn human beings. They divvy up their bodies, they sell their heads, they sell their livers, they sell other aspects of their body, and you see the price list. The documents raise questions about whether the aborted human beings were still alive when the organs were taken from them. The Obama administration obviously was involved in this. The Trump administration figured out what was happening and shut it down.
Documents previously uncovered in this lawsuit, according to your press release, that the federal government demanded the purchased fetal organs be, quote, fresh, never frozen. What do you make of that?
Well, if you want to, I don't know how any normal person could read that and not be horrified. They wanted the organs shipped on dry ice. This is awful stuff, and it highlights the humanity.
But it's actually happening.
Yeah, and it highlights the, these are organs. This isn't, a clump of cells. These are organs. These are baby skulls up to 24 weeks gestation. So there's no doubt that any normal person would call these a human being. And indeed, their organs are being sold, chopped up and sold. And, we have other documents in another lawsuit that we filed on behalf of the Center for Medical Progress that showed a massive operation in the University of Pittsburgh, again, funded with our tax dollars. Fauci's agency was involved in it as well. So Fauci should be asked about his agency support, in addition to gain of function research, chopping up organs. It was a fetal organ chop shop.
According to Judicial Watch founder Tom Fitton, federal officials who have enabled and profited from this gruesome trade in children's body parts can't be allowed to hide behind bureaucracy. They must be exposed and they must be held accountable.
What should someone think about this if they're learning about this for the first time? It just seems like it's sort of a jaw-dropping, don't you think?
John, I've been doing this work at Judicial Watch for 23 years. These are the worst documents about government conduct I've ever seen in my life. It's a barbarism that we should all be terribly concerned about, and it should be a priority in terms of investigating how this is being done, why it was done, whether it violated the law, and making sure it stops.
What we're uncovering is a marketplace of death, a black market in plain sight, where fetal organs are catalogued and priced like auto parts. Behind it is a vast machine, biotech firms, government agencies, and so-called health providers, all feeding a billion-dollar supply chain that enriches the elite. And they flaunt it. In undercover footage, executives sip wine and laugh about the profits. Luxury cars, designer bags, lavish vacations, all bought with blood money. While still, it's all been shielded by the very institutions we're told to trust, while the media runs cover and buries the evidence. Take Planned Parenthood. Their own executives have been caught red-handed, not just admitting to the harvesting of body parts, but bragging about how lucrative the trade has become. One name stands out: Dr. Mary Gatter, head of the Los Angeles branch. In undercover footage, she's seen haggling over the price of body parts. Not medical waste, but premium organs demanded by elite buyers seeking adrenochrome. And this isn't vague. Dr. Gatter explicitly offers thymus liver pairs, prized in certain circles for their potency. She even admits that she has colleagues elsewhere in California running the very same operation, forming a network designed to keep the elite well supplied.
Are we agreed that $100 would keep you happy?
Well, let me agree to find out from other affiliates in California what they're getting, and if they're getting substantially more, then we can discuss it there.
Yes.
But the money is not the important thing.
No,
But it has to be big enough that it's worthwhile.
But it is something to talk about. I mean, it's one of the first things that you brought up, right? So
we're able to get a liver thymus pair. Maybe that is $75 per specimen, and so that's for for liver thymus pair, and that's $150. Versus if we can get liver thymus, brain hemisphere, and all that, then and so that protects us, so that we're not paying for what we can't use.
Let me just figure out what others are getting, and if this is in the ballpark, and that's fine. If it's still low, then we can talk about it. I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Medical journals quietly confirm what insiders have been saying for years. The thymus gland and the liver are the crown jewels in adrenochrome production. The thymus, a small but powerful organ, regulates adrenaline. The liver processes and filters it. Together, they form the perfect combination for those seeking to extract and weaponize the body's most potent chemical. So it should come as no surprise that Dr. Mary Gatter was caught in Los Angeles, the beating heart of Hollywood, negotiating the going price for these organs. And it's Hollywood itself where the whispers grow loudest. Brave truth-tellers like Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel have risked everything to expose the crimes of an industry built on the suffering of children, and the elites who feed off them.
But we've seen this over and over again in the media. You said ivermectin's bad. That's listed under the NIH. Hydroxychloroquine is bad for us. That's listed under the NIH. Adrenochrome, that's not true. It's C9H9NO3. This is a chemical compound that is absolutely listed. It's been around in modern science since the 1930s. You can actually, there's a synthetic form and there's a regular natural form, which is caused by torturing little kids to get their adrenaline up, essentially, and then extracting it from them. When you sit and meet, and so I brought this up a few years ago, and all of a sudden I was attacked by every media. Look it up. It's there. They absolutely went after me. And the next day, I never heard from my agency for 14 months. My lawyers let me go. My agency never called me after that, and essentially I was done. And so when we go and do movies like this, you spend a great deal of time with agents, working with them. I didn't realize the connection, though, to my industry and to Epstein Island and all of that. But obviously there is.
But it's not all darkness. Thanks to the courage of truth seekers like you, the tide is turning. More people are waking up every day, and the perpetrators can no longer operate with impunity. Their days of power are numbered. Take Planned Parenthood, for example. The walls are closing in on the creeps and murderers. Their director of strategic communications was found dead after police uncovered evidence of a paedophile network at his home. Tim Yergew, 36, was found dead in his Connecticut apartment from apparent suicide, shortly after he was implicated by police in a child sex investigation. Then there's the story of Bill Taverner, a Planned Parenthood director who openly stated that children should be treated as sexual beings from the moment they exit the womb. After the People's Voice exposed Taverner's satanic beliefs, Fox News dug up similar appalling statements from Taverner's Center for Sex Ed and exposed him to their audience. One of these documents, used to indoctrinate Planned Parenthood staff, claims that sexuality is a part of life through all the ages and stages. Babies, elders, and everyone in between can experience sexuality. For 9,000 years, this cult has thrived in the shadows, sacrificing children, consuming their blood, and disguising it as religion, as medicine, and as culture. From Babylon to Hollywood, the names and faces may change, but the evil remains the same. This cult survives on secrecy, it feeds on silence, and it thrives because good people are too afraid to speak. So, this is our call to arms. It's time to tear down the 9,000-year-old paedophile cult brick by brick, lie by lie, until there's nothing left but ashes. Because the future of our children depends on it. Here at the People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do without you.